Oh, I've just realised my microphone was muted. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Are we sure it was me? Oh, god damn it. Oh, I didn't press the mute button on the mic. Oh well. Okay, let me just recap that then. Right. Never mind. We live and we learn. Okay, so yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, yesterday we were having some problems with the with this. We had let me go back to this. Oh, that was a fail, that was. This. Yeah. Okay. So we had this fix me. So I was saying that off stream yesterday I fixed this. So we had this, which we didn't like, and now we have this, and we have the implementation, and I went through the implementation, which uses as any dynamic EQ in order to, where is it? Part mapper. In order to allow partial EQ to be derived on this and also have it implemented in here. And where is it? Yes. No. Here, yes. Yes. And we have the implementation here, which uses dynamic EQ and as any. Right. So, right. So we've got our part mapper and we've got our way of doing assembly variants. We've got a definition of assembly variant. We've got a way of mapping parts. What we're trying to do is get the list of parts from the EDA tool. Just bring that up again. The list of parts from the EDA tool. We want to use the assembly variant, look through the list of parts that we have to come up with a short list of parts that could be used. And then we need some way of narrowing that down, whittling that list down of potential parts that we can use to an actual list of parts that need to be used. But I don't want to create a graphical user interface to do this yet. Long term, it would be nice. But today we're going to create a CLI tool to do it. And yesterday I had a quick look around and stumbled across this Rust crate, which seems to look quite nice from its little video thing, which I'll just display here momentarily. So the idea is that you've got a way of selecting things, entering data, and so on. And it feels like we should be able to use this to display the candidates for a particular part mapping if it matches more than one. And I have the user select which one they want, and then perhaps remember this information so that when they run the tool again, it uses the same selections. And you would run this tool when you want to create the list, when you want to create your pick and place machine job, as it were. So we're going to try using this. I have no idea how this works. We're also going to use a crate called Clap, which I've used in the past. Clap is pretty good. It's extremely popular. And it allows you to create command line interfaces and argument processing and all this kind of stuff in a pretty nice way. But before we can use any of that stuff, we need to set up our project so that it builds a binary. So in order to do that, we're going to have to go into the project. So we've got like a couple of parts that we want to use, components for this. It's tricky talking modules. Yeah, I suppose modules is the Rust term, isn't it? It's tricky talking about software concepts at the same time as pick and place machine concept because they use a lot of the same terminology. Anyway, there we are. Right, so the way that it works is that you're supposed to create a binary cargo. I can't remember exactly how to do it. Cargo binaries example. Yeah. Yeah, something like this. Right. So we give it a name. And the name is going to be, I don't know, what is this going to do? Variant maker. Variant builder, perhaps. Let's get rid of the underscores here. Let's call it variant builder because that's what we're doing, I suppose. And then yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to put test is false and bench is false for now. And I'm going to refresh this. Now we've got to remember how to actually build it. So what? This didn't work here. It failed to can't find right because there's no source for it now, which is fine. So it's looking for it, source bin, whatever. So we go source new directory bin new variant builder, right? And we've got this main file just like floating around here. We're just going to steal this for now. Paste that in there. And we're going to turn our main crate into a library instead. So we're going to rename this into lib. And then we're going to delete this. And we're going to try refreshing this. And there we go. And now it's happy. What this means is our bin can use the code that's in the crate as a library, which is great. So from here, I should be able to call things in the main crate. Let's just try that. Just to make sure this all works. So part mapper process. So our test is going part mapper process like this. Right. We need to somehow make this work. You need to use the crate, I think. Use, what is this? No, because the crate for a binary is the binary itself. Forget how to do this. Because the library is one crate, this is one crate, and the binary is another. I think I did like a little example of this a while back ago. Let's just open that up. Not that. Forget. Yeah, no. What's the name of the library that it uses? No, that's not the right example. Oh, you'd think some of this stuff would be easy, but no. How do we do it? Let's go Rust cargo import library from binary. Yeah. Yeah. Don't crack my. Yeah. Do. Yeah. This is our situation. This is a good answer, this one is. But yeah, you have to. How do you do? Wait. Got a package? Do we ever? Is it my IDE that's confuzzled? Let me see what happens if we try and do it. That's interesting. Okay, let's fix these compiler errors first and then come back to it. So it's saying part doesn't implement debug. Yes, because we only want it like that in test mode. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, yeah. And we need another bracket. See. Okay, right. Unused import. Yeah, it's saying lots of things aren't used, but we don't really care about that right now. Why? How do we do this? Let me just go use MakerPnP. Is it because things aren't public? It could be. Had this before. Lib. Yes. Okay, so none of this is public, so the other module doesn't know about anything. And they're in a different crate. Right. Okay. There we go. That's it. Right. So now we should be able to use the stuff in the crate. Yes. There we go. Right. Perfect. Okay, so we can call stuff in our library, which is good. That's what we want to do. So let's just see if you still need this. Because I don't remember. Yeah, you don't need this, and this is what this was saying. You can just use it. So we can get rid of that, which is fine. So we can just use the stuff now, which is what we want. Module declaration missing. That's a little bit weird. Oh, I hate it when you get a tooltip. It's got more on it, look. But I can't. If I move the mouse to it, it disappears. Control F1. No. 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 Okay, fine. Whatever. Don't know what this means. We'll come back to that. All right, so what we want is a CLI tool. Now, testing. Right. Testing CLI programs is fun because you need to capture the output of the CLI program. Oops. Right. So let's just say we've got a CLI tool, and when we pass it a -v argument, it gives us the version of the tool, which is a pretty common thing for CLI apps to want. Mod. No. Bun. Version. Now, I did a little bit of this recently, but I've got to try and find where a code is. What did I do with it? I've got to try and find it. All right, let me just open up a terminal. Yeah. Oh yes. No, it wasn't this. Try and find it. Let me search my playground stuff for clap. And then I should be able to find it that way. Hmm. Um, I'm looking at all my TOML files. What did I create this in? What did I create it in? Not this, not embassy. Did this recently, and it's just going to be a lot easier if I find it rather than just remember how to do everything all over again. Um, Lots of things to do with embedded stuff. No, for some reason I can't find it. Okay. Bear with me a moment while I open up a different project. So I've got some code which I can't show everybody. It's not public. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, okay. Right, I've got what I need. So I'm just going to put it off screen and I'm just going to reference it as we go. All right. Right, back to this. There we go. Right. So what we need is some options, and we need dependencies and all this kind of stuff. So one of the dependencies that we need is clap. So this is one of the dependencies. I don't know if this is the latest version, so let's just bump that. Right. Refresh that and make sure everything's good. Okay. You'll notice that it's got optional on the end over here. This is because the main library doesn't use clap, only the binary uses it. We also want to use anyhow for errors. Right. Okay. And CLI. We're going to create a feature called CLI. And this feature is going to use some dependencies. Thus, hopefully I got that right. Apparently. So let's just try building the tool now. Did that do it? There we go. Okay. This is good. So the tool ran, which is excellent. That is what we want. Variant builder, it ran, and it said not implemented. That's what we want. So we're good. Let's make sure we can run some tests. This is good. And let's make sure we can run all the tests in the library. This is good. And the tests in the library don't run the tests for the tool. Let me double check this. So I specified test false on this. So I think that is incorrect. I'm not entirely sure. I might have to go back and check this at some point. So if we do cargo test, does this, which is fine. If we go cargo bin equals, I think it's this, variant builder test, and you run the tests on a binary cargo. I forget. Cargo run test for binary. Yes. Target selection. Yes. Bin name, a dash bin. Man, I told you I was rusty at this. Oh, okay. Which is fine. Very helpful error messages there, and that's good. Right, so that's how we can run the tests on it from the command line. So at some point, what we're going to need is a way of saying run all the tests on the library and then run all the tests on the binary, which you can't do very easily because of the features, the dependencies, and all this stuff that you have with cargo. And probably what we're going to need to do is use cargo X task or something like this. But we're not going to do that right now. We'll come back to that another day. So go cargo test. Oops, capgo. Cargo test. Cargo test. It runs the test in the library, and if we go cargo test bin variant builder feature CLI, it runs the test on that. So we're good. Okay, so we've got some dependencies. Everything's fine. Let's just make sure we can run our binary. Is it make? No. Build. That's the one. Okay. Let's make sure we've actually got an executable that we can run. So we should have it in target. Oops. /target debug. It built a debug by default, I believe. And look, there's our binary, variant builder. Excellent. So what we want to do is go variant builder -v and have it display the version. That's what we're trying to do. Or dash dash v or dash dash version, you know, this kind of thing. That's the goal. And then when it displays the version, we want to make sure that it actually prints the version out in a test. So let's go back to the binary and work out how to call the binary, which you know is a thing in itself. So Rust run binary from test. I did this very recently. No, there is a way of doing it. What is it? Binary. Let me search for Rust capture output test, because this is what I was looking at, I believe. Capture. It's not this one. It's not that. No, this wasn't it. Yeah. This was the kind of thing that we were looking at, but this wasn't the one. Oh. It's frustrating when you know you've done something in the last couple of weeks or so, but you can't remember what it is that you did and where it was that you put it, even if you're organised and you can't find it. Let me look at one of the examples for this for a second. Oh dear. Yeah, no. Can't remember it. Can't remember it. Can't remember it. Google Boo is not there now. This is my same. CLI. This is it. Cargo bin. Yeah. I think this is it. Let me just grab this. This might be it. Okay, good. And then it was called variant builder. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Let's bookmark this and add some tags to it. Test, cargo, command, binary, run, that kind of thing. Okay. So yeah, this is actually what we want to do as well, because I was looking at this and I don't really want to be repeating the name of the CLI tool everywhere. Let's just do that for a moment, because that should pick up the name of the binary from cargo itself. Let's just let's do the basic stuff here. Let's see what happens. Right. Right, so we need this assert command thing. Right. So we're going to add a new dependency. But it's actually a dev dependency. Dev dependencies are not allowed to be optional. That's fine then. Okay, so now we can import this. There we go. Which is fine. The cargo bin returns a result. Right. This needs to return a result because of this. But I don't think we really want to make it do that. Let's just make it unwrap. And if it fails, it fails. And then the test will fail. It's fine. Right, so what can we do with this? We've got cumd dot, and then we've got stuff. We can set arguments for it, which we actually want to do. .v. And then we need to run this thing. Let's have a look at the documentation for this a little bit. Command. Dot output. Right, so when you get output, you get a result. Okay. Okay. discovering the APIs as we go. Oh, it's args. No. Is this... how do we specify args? Yeah, I got it right. That's fine. There we go. Hey, this is good. What does it do now? I mean, we've not got an assertion that checks the output yet, so this is fine. We just basically made sure that the command runs. So now we need to get the standard output. Let's go back to this again. So, okay, let's have a look at the assert command create again. We can have a look at this as well at some point. Good out. That's what we're interested in. So that's where how you redirect it, but how do you capture it? Yeah, I see. I did this recently, and it's so annoying that I can't remember where the thing is that I did. This. No. Interesting. So what we're supposed to be doing is going dot assert. Right, and that gives us an assert. And then we're supposed to go standard out. This is interesting. Predicate stir diff world. So, hence this. Let's have a look at. Oops, an easy. Very interesting. Oh, interesting. What's this predicates crate? I haven't seen this before. Interesting. Diff, huh? What can you do with it? Predicates. Interesting. String predicates. Let's have a look. Create a predicate that diffs two strings. So if you go hello world and you pass it something else, then you get, if you pass it the same thing, you get something back. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Let's fix the dependencies that we just added there. That looks interesting. I've not used this crate before. Predicates. The dev dependency. Apparently. All right. Is this the latest version? Apparently. Refresh this. Sure. So let's say 1.0 or 0.1 actually. We want to make it so that it definitely contains 0.1, right? I've lost the thing that I was looking at. We're supposed to go cargo bin, then unwrap it. Yeah, I've done that. And then we give it an argument. Then we go assert, and then we do this. Oh, yeah. Okay. But, all right. Okay, so it should fail because this doesn't appear in the output. Good. How does it fail? Let's have a look. Oh, it ran the wrong thing. Why did it run that? That doesn't even exist. I deleted it. Pretty sure I deleted that. Let's delete this because it shouldn't do that. It's just random artifact. Okay, good. So now it should fail because what happened? Not found error, which is right because we're not even supposed to be running that. Well, I need to know what the cargo environment variables are. When you're running a binary. How do you say? Yeah, wait. We are saying cargo bin. Yeah. But cargo sets for crates. Build scripts. Cargo bin X. Let's just search for cargo bin. Bin name, look, this. That's, I think, what we want here, not package name. There we go. Perhaps. Okay. Okay, good. This is good. So now we get not yet implemented. So we've got a test that allows us to run the cargo bin defined by the binary that we're trying to run from the test, which magically happens from the cargo bin when you're running the bins test, which is pretty nice, to be fair, rather than hard coding the name of it in here. And also then, you know, if I want to change the name of this, I would have to change it in too many places. So we don't want to do that. So we've got that. So we want to point out 0.1 when we press dash, when we go -v. So now we can make that happen, I suppose. So the way sort of clap works is that you define a struct called opts. Let me go back to my and you add the derived parser on it, which comes from clap, right? And then you say, I want an argument. Like this. So -v, I mean, we said dash lowercase v. Do we care about the case of it? I'm just going to go with capital V for now. So when we do that, yeah, now somehow we need to use these options, right? And you need to call parse on opts, make it work. And then if this is now this, if the arguments were parsed correctly, then you should be able to just check it. if opt version, and then we're going to say seems reasonable. And then we're going to go, what are we going to do here? Well, we need the version somewhere. And it also needs to return something. Yes. So our main doesn't have the right return value at the moment. It needs to return nothing if it's okay. Otherwise, we're using anyhow error. Right. So which means our print version can now return the anyhow result. Of okay, basically, no problems. And then we're going to go println, and we're going to get the information from cargo. So there are other environment variables that are set up by cargo, such as the package name and the version. Right. So we're going to use these. And we're going to say yeah. Well, the most important thing we want is this, but we want to say variant builder. 0.1. So then we can get these from the environment. And that's going to be cargo package name. I think. No, this should be bin name. Should be bin name. And then we're going to go n cargo package version, I think it was. Cargo package version, full version of the package. And we're fine. And then we're going to go okay at the end of it. Let's see what happens. Right. Well, what happened here then? I'm not sure why it's printing that, because ops.version short argument v, which is fine. What am I missing here? What happens if you run this with debugger? Yeah. Let's see. So I don't know whether the debugger is going to attach to the cargo bin process. It might not. Yeah. kind of what I thought. The debugger is only attached to the test, so I'm not sure how you go about debugging the binary. Let's just create a launch configuration for this for a moment to see what it does. Right, so okay, and then let's update the launch configuration so it's got -b on the end of it, which I think you do like this. Right, which is now true, which is right. And it goes print version, and it goes, and then it goes by. Right, so variant builder 0.1.0, which kind of makes sense because our package version is 0.1.0. So let's go back to the test. So this is right. So why so it feels like the argument isn't being passed to it because it works when I run it there. Let's yeah, I mean fine, and their clap is working very nicely, which is good. That's sort of what you expect. It automatically implements help and some of these things and gives you like the list of arguments that you've got, and it builds all that stuff up from your structure, from this basically, which is pretty neat. It works quite nicely. But the question is, why isn't the version being passed through? So what are we doing wrong here? We create a new command, we do this. Are we doing this in the wrong place? Cargo bin. Here it creates a new command and then it goes arg. Cargo bin gives you a result. And if it doesn't find it, then how do you pass args to this bin? Do you perhaps? Yeah, it's not clear where you're supposed to specify the arguments because it might be that you can't create the command unless you know how to pass the arguments on the end of it. So it might be adding commands to cargo rather than adding commands to the bin itself as it's run by cargo. This is what I'm thinking. So let's move this args thing. How do you add args to it? What happens if we go like this? I'm curious. I don't think this is right, but we're gonna see. Because this is what you have to do on the command line if you're using. Right, what does it say? Maybe it just didn't build it. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it just needed to be. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Fine. Everything was fine, but because I ran some commands on the command line, specifically this one, that would have caused it to rebuild the command again. There we go, look. So before it was printing out the not implemented, as if it was ignoring the arguments, but it wasn't ignoring the arguments. It was just running the old executable, and it hadn't built a new one. Which is a bit of a gotcha when you're running these things. So you basically have to make sure it builds the binary before you can run the test. There might be a nicer way of doing this. Probably also, if we were to go cargo clean, right, and then just run this test, it should probably fail because it won't have built the binary. But let's see what happens. And it goes not found, yeah, because the executable's not there. So my thought is okay. So what clap gives us? Variant build 0.1.0, which is fine. Variant build 0.1.0, everything's fine. So we need to build this. Struggling to remember how to build just the binary. Don't remember. I can't right click on these. I thought I could right click these things and make it build them. Another thing to look up. Okay, we're just going to build it from here without running it. And then we're going to run it. And we're just going to do that until we work out how to do it. Right. So okay, so there's a /n on the end. R as stir. I'm just trying to work out how to read this. I mean, I suppose we do care about the trailing line, the line feed. Passing test. Okay, fine. Okay. All right. So, you know, we've got a command line tool which can print a version. Amazing. I think it's time to do a commit at this point. Let's go cargo test. Make sure all the tests pass. And then cargo test on the binary. And all the tests pass. Test pass. Everything's good. Right, we're good. So, oh, we got this lock file. Lock files. You're supposed to commit lock files for binary projects, but not for library projects. Even though currently our crate is a binary and a library, we're going to commit it. so that all of our versions and everything like that are all fixed. Wow, there's a lot of dependencies already. You really do have to be mindful of your dependencies. Jeez. Oh my god, we've got Surday already. Why? Where did all of these depend? What? What? Windows time. Jeez. That's just wow. I think we need to do a bit of feature disabling. Let's do the commit first, and then see if we can clean up some of these dependencies because there's far too many, and I don't like it. It's no bueno. All right, let's review the commit variant builder. So what did we do? What did we do? First cut of command line. Cool. Right. Does that capture everything we've done? So let's just delete some white space. It's fine. There's still a to-do in it. It's absolutely fine. Delete some of that. Right. So we've got that. That all looks good. Part mapping. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll cut that out because I forgot to commit these. Building binaries. Because we had issues with this. Okay, so that's one thing. Then this thing, I should have committed these earlier. Nobody saw it. Clean up unused imports. Good. Yeah, right. This is all part of this, right? So now we're gonna place this back. This was okay. This is all part of it. This is all part of it. And then we've got our dev dependencies. So we added 4 dependencies, but we've got like 1,000 transient dependencies. So what we need to try and do is work out how to disable some of this stuff that we don't need. Let's have a look at anyhow first. Can we go into the yes? But also no. But we might be able to. Yeah, there we go. Get to the package, and then we can look at its cargo.toml file to see what features it has and what's enabled by default. Hopefully. Features stood default. Okay, so there's not really much to disable with anyhow. What dependencies does it have? It's got some dev dependencies on diff, thin, futures. And it doesn't seem totally hideous. Okay, and it's got backtrace. It kind of makes sense for anyhow. So anyhow doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's look at clap. let's look at clap. All right. Righty. What are we looking for? We're looking for dependencies. My brain went off on a little tangent there. Camel. There we go. Features we're looking at. We want features. Right, so it's got the default set of features is standard color help usage error content suggestions, which, you know, all of that seems okay, really. Seems okay. I kind of want to print out a tree of the dependencies. Cargo dependent the tree. Yeah, there's this cargo tree thing. This is what you want. Cargo tree. Right. But command is where lots of things are coming from. Mm-hmm. But this isn't showing the binary. GCL package dash. Is it? Not sure. I want to show the dependencies is used the binary requires, and then look at the dependencies that the library uses. So the library shouldn't have any dependencies right now because everything's optional, right? What happens if we go? Yeah, okay. Right. So then it includes anyhow and clap. But where's stuff like Surde coming from? Because we saw this in the list, right? I'm not going mad, am I? Like, no. Beaster. Like, and then Beaster. Assert command is using Beaster. Let's have a look at assert command for a moment. And see if we can work out why it. Why are we doing that? Beaster. What is Beaster? Guess is the question. And then why does this need Surday? And cargo features. Right. So that's where it's coming from. Um, because this package isn't uh, isn't turning off features that it doesn't need. Uh, it should be. It should specify the list of. It should probably specify default features as false on here. Now I know I shouldn't do this, and my ID warns me that I'm doing a bad thing. And we're just going to see if it works. But also, why doesn't right? Yeah, I mean that's fine. We're running the test. We need to actually do the build. Build. So we can run it. Let's have a look at the cargo lock file now. Oh, I thought that was going to fix it. Oh, it isn't enabled by default. Okay, fine. That's fine then. Don't know why it's coming up in the cargo log file. I mean, it's odd because cargo tree doesn't show the Surday stuff, but the cargo lock file contains Surday. So maybe I'm just misunderstanding the stuff that's in the lock file and how it works. But when I saw it, I was a bit shocked by the amount of stuff that was in it. I mean, it has dependencies there, but okay, so maybe it's not as bad as we thought. Let's just see if it actually tried to build Surday. Look, so this is what happened when we tried to run the tests. Yeah, this looks a more reasonable thing. Yeah, look, these two are predicates. Okay, everything's fine. It's fine. It's just I wasn't expecting to see the transient dependencies listed in the unused transient dependencies listed in the cargo lock file. But fine. I wonder if anyone else is cargo transient cargo unused transient dependencies in cargo.log. Yeah. time is declared, even though it's object dependency and nothing enabled the corresponding feature. Yeah. Yeah. Disabled optional dependencies should not be tracked in cargo file. So what happened? Yeah, I agree with this. I'm gonna give that a +1. So it's an open thing. It's on a wish list. Yes. Interesting. What does cargo audit do? Getting a little bit sidetracked here, but you know. All right. Well, that's interesting. Who knew? See, this is why I love the Rust ecosystem. Some of it can be a bit tricky to find, but there's some good stuff that's out there. There's some good stuff that's out there. All right. Interesting. We're going to bookmark that. Cargo transient dependencies. Boom. We don't care about this. Don't care about that. This is useful. Cargo environment variables. Yes, one of the things I want to do at some point is create a log sec for the project, so that when we're going around and finding things and discovering stuff, we can make notes and have that in a log sec. I'll set that up ASAP because it's very useful to be able to refer back to your notes and so on like that that you made when you were doing it and the problems you encounter and all this kind of stuff. Yes. Right. Okay. Moving on. So, where are we? What are we doing? Close everything. Let's bring up the bin again. So, we've got a to-do here, right? We actually need to make this do something useful now. Finally. Right. I'm going to get a coffee. I'm going to think about what I need to do next while I'm getting said coffee. All right. Okay. Back in a jiffy. Right. Okay. Wizzy's back. Wizzy's back. Right. I want to know why this happens. If you get a cup with some liquid in it and tap the bottom, the pitch changes. Right? If you stir it and then do it again, you get a lower pitch. If anyone knows the answer to why that happens, I'd love to know. So there we are. Right. Right. So what we've got to do is have our tool load in the placements file. Right, that's one thing we've got to do. We've got to make the tool load in some parts from somewhere. We've got to make the tool load in the name and a refdes list for the assembly variant. And we've got to make our tool load in some part mappings. Right. I'm not going to do the whole inventory integration right now. So if we're not doing inventory integration right now, we can change where we load things in from at a later date. But we'll start simple and then we'll add in the complicated stuff later on. If I started doing inventory integration right now, then that would probably mean I would have to have like an instance of inventory running to test the code, right? Otherwise, how do you know it's working? So instead of using inventory for the sort of some of this data, we're just going to use simple CSV files for it, because why not? You could use XML files and all this kind of thing, but most of the tools we're using, they either use CSV files or XML files. However, if you go onto Google Sheets or your preferred spreadsheet package of choice, then you can quite easily edit CSV files and make them and all this kind of stuff. So let's try and define some CSV files for the things that we want to load in and create some test resources for this. So, all right then. Fine. Everything's fine. So we've got this source directory, and we've got an assets directory, and then somewhere we need to put some test data. Don't really know where to put it. Let's see what everybody else does. Cargo test resources. Here we go. Someone else has asked the same question. Fantastic. Right, manifest directory, resources test. Here we assume there's a resources test at the top level. 96 people say this is okay. We kind of like that. That's quite useful. Oh gosh. Assumes Linux / Yeah. Yeah, because building paths and everything. Yeah. I mean, I'm running this on this too, so it's going to be fine for me. But if someone wants to run cargo test on the command line. You're going to run into problems if we were to do that. You see, because this, push this. Yes. Okay. What are the, oh, see, they're using concat here, see. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. We're just gonna, we're gonna do this. So people say resources test. So that's one example of people doing similar stuff. Okay. Someone else says, where would you put them? Wherever you want. No suggested place. This is let's have a quick look for cargo project layout. Package layout, fine. So here, test. Yeah, we're not running test. Yeah. Wherever you want. Fine. Okay, we're just gonna go with this answer. And we're gonna say yes. Here I've got to log in. Never mind. Okay, fine. Cargo test resources. Okay. Fine. Thank you very much, Stack Overflow people. Once again. How would I live my developer life without Stack Overflow? All right. So we've got version. Everything's fine there. I guess we need a new test. Let me just pop that there for a second. So we can get the version, and everything's fine. Let's have a new test. Yeah, okay. We'll copy this and we'll change it. One of the approaches to doing this is copy everything across and then uncomment comment everything out, and then edit it one line at a time until it does what you want. That way you don't accidentally leave any rubbish in there. So we're going to go... Well, what are we doing? We're going to go build variant. I mean, that's what we're going to do eventually. It's a little bit funny to test this, is because if we say load a CSV file, we don't know that the tool has loaded a CSV file until it actually prints something out. So if we were to say load the placements, we could happily have it print out how many placements it loaded, and then that would enable us to write some test code to make sure that that is done. And we can then, we can write some unit tests around this and maybe come back to the test later, because we don't necessarily need it to show how many placements it loaded for the final version of the tool. But we've got to start somewhere. We're going to start there. So we're going to say build, and then we want a command line argument, and we're going to say we want a command line argument of P. No, we just get placements. And we're just going to make it take a file name, and it's fine. And then we're going to assert something. Oh, I guess we need the name of the file. Now, we need to build the name of this placements file, which is where we need this. Let's say placements arg, and we're going to say let placement arg. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong language. Placements arg is going to be this, but it's going to be string format, is it? Yeah, I don't remember. And we need to do this. And we're going to say test placements file name. Oh, one of my doors just slammed. Oh, all right. Test placements file. Fine. Am I trying to use the right thing here? I'm not entirely sure. No, not. See, got a phone call. Please bear with me. Phone call. Righto. So we were trying to work out how to format strings. Rust format string. Here we go. Create format string out of literal. Probably something like this. Formatted. Okay, but is that right? Use the format macro. Okay. We'll try it. There we go. Oh, look, it gives you a string. Great. So, right, now we need this. And that's where this little snippet comes in that we had earlier. Uncomment now. D, no. I mean, resources, and then we should probably put these in some sort of useful place. Resources test, bin, placements 1. Now, we could define the placements in our test file and have it write to that file so that all the information that we need to see the test is actually contained in the test file rather than having to go to some directory somewhere, cross-reference things all the time. So what we could do, perhaps, is build that file in the test in a minute. So we're going to say and if that was the case, then we need a temporary file, not a specific location for a test resource. Done some of this in the past. Yeah, okay, let's forget this. Right. So temporary test directories. Done this in the past. Rust temporary directory advanced test. Yeah, this is going to be better. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. No, not a very good answer. Testing temporary files. Okay, let's have a look. 2019. Temporary directory per test. Change into it, go into test files, and work on it. Just delete it. All right, yeah. This is sort of test fixtures, plays. Okay, yes. Don't necessarily do that, but okay. In temperature. Oh yes, that's right. There's this temp file thing. Yes, that's it. Rust create temp file. This is it. This is what you use, and this is what everybody uses. Let me go back to this because there's a yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, interesting. Yes, you do get issues with temp directories and multiple threads. I've had this in the past as well. What's this fixture thing? File temperature. Yeah, I mean this is all I need. Is this? Okay. Yeah. Right, we're gonna add this as dependency. And it's going to be a dev dependency. Temp file. And fine. Refresh this. I think it might have refreshed it automatically. So we're going to say temp file. Temp let dir. Okay. Then we're going to say, how do we create a new file in here? Documentation. I want a temporary file in a temporary directory because there's going to be other things that we're going to create as well. And I want them, when I run their tests, I want to see all of them together rather than just have these things just randomly. Here we go. Write some stuff into it. So yeah. Okay, so we need to name. Yeah, once we've got a temporary directory, we can create anything in that we want with whatever names that we want to use. So we can say format no. We can go we can build the file and then get the name from the file name. Enter path dot push or something. Yeah, push. And then placements.csv. And then we can say displacements file dot into path and then push. Oh, I see. So the path has been modified. Right. Um, is it? I think it's this. Ba, 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 ba. think it's this. But let's just add an assertion on here. Loaded. And placements. Sure. It doesn't implement display. I think it's something like this. Not sure. Okay, let's just see what happens if we run this. Oh, on the bright side, it compiled. Oh wait, did it? No, it didn't. Okay, fine. Can't convert the error. Oh. So we get IO errors. Fine. Got a mismatched type. What? Why? Oh. That would help. Okay. That's what we said. Okay. Right. So let's debug it and see what we get. So we've got placement arg is this. So it says placements is this, and this looks like a string that we should be able to use to open a file from. This looks good. And then we're going to say go. And we're going to say go. We're still going to say go. And that's fine. And it didn't print out what we wanted. There's argument unexpected. So let's deal with unexpected arguments. So we've got this placement argument, and it's supposed to be a file name. So we're going to add placement file, and it's going to be a string, and it's a arg, and it's short. Give it a P. Right, but we need to look at how we define this, because we need to pass it something. So we need to look at the clap documentation. Clap documentation. No. Documentation. Derive tutorial. Yeah. This is sort of what we're after. Oh yeah, it's optional, isn't it, as well? Yeah. How about that? Is it optional though? Wait a minute. No, it's not optional. We definitely need one of these. Yeah. Start. Yeah, and this is sort of what we want to do here. Yes, value name. This is it. Because we want this. And we need like some. Yeah, because it's magic, it will use the comment. It's macro magic. Brilliant, this is. I don't know how you make it work in different languages, mind you. Because really, this needs to come from like translations file. But anyway, English it is. Placements file. Let's see. Well, it's just a placements file. Because there's different tools that create different types of placements files. Maybe we need to make it use a different parser depending on some other argument or something, but not right now. First things first. Right. And it's no good running the test unless you build it. And that was good. We were able to build it. Okay. So we broke version. Yeah. So you can't then run the version argument unless all the other arguments are present. But that's not really what we want. We want to say you can do the version thing, or you can do the other thing. So we need this concept of like subcommands, I think, which I think is what they're called in this. Yeah. We need to experiment a little here. We sort of want one of these really for like build or something, don't we? Let's do this. Let's say build. Then let's move this argument to here. And then let's say there's some commands. And let's see. We can try building it. Which worked, which is good. We're not going to test it. We just want to run it. Suppose we can run it from cargo. Run. Okay. Oh. Okay, so now we get this. And then we can see the thing. So our arguments down here needs to have build on it. Found string. Right. Which is good. So then we should be able to go blah 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 flash placement equals 2. Right. Oh. It's a placements file. Did we? Oh, we did call it placements file. Let's undo that. Let's just call it placements. Okay, that's good. So it liked it. And that's where we're at the moment. So we can pass a placements file to it, which is good. So now we're going to load the file and store it in memory somehow. So we're going to try and do that. Okay, here we go then. So now in here, and this is the enum match ops dot command, and it's going to be some commands got build. We want the not quite sure how we're supposed to do this right now. Bum, 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 bum. Pound 2. I mean, that was interesting. And I want to pull out the, well, it's destructuring thing, because if it's a build, then I need the placements so I can access it. But can I check the enum without doing the match thing? I'm not quite sure about how you're actually supposed to process this. Let's have a look. Yeah. List. Yeah, I'm on the right track. A reference, though. I don't know why it's got that, though. That's better. Okay, there was some random cruft. Okay. So if we've got this placement string thing, we can perhaps try and load it. Hey. What can we do with this? Not sure. I don't know the file API, I'm afraid. Yeah, sort of what I thought. Probably like a path buff from this. Is it new? I'm just guessing here at the moment. I'm going to have to look stuff up in a moment. Open. Oh. Okay, so I don't really want to open the file. That's the thing. I just want to have a file handle, I think. I suppose we should probably look at the CSV library that we're going to use to see how it wants to open a CSV file, because maybe we don't even need to do this at all. It's probably not a bad idea. And then this gives you a... Let's see what happens with this, because I'm kind of curious. Yep, system cannot find a file specified. So the error conversion and all that kind of stuff works, which is good. Okay, so we're sort of on the right track here. Let us look for CSV. Rust rates CSV. Not going to go directly to the CSV one in case there's other ones. There's one that's got, what is this? With no std support. Like, right. Yeah. Reading and writing. I mean, we can do that, but we want, I think we want the standard library sort of one. Failing CI? Good Lord. That's shocking. Shocking. Maybe they've got a transient error on their build server. We can only hope. Oh dear. Righto. Right. So let's just do this until it doesn't work. Cargo. Now, this is a CLI dependency. This is so CSV. That one. and it's going to be optional, and everything's fine. But we're going to add it like this. There we go. Did that do it? Let me refresh this because. Great. Let's see what the documentation said. So we're going to go. Oh yeah, we've got this boxed in error. From reader. I don't want to read it from standard in. No. Okay, well, let's just go. There's probably ways to do it. We're going to go CSV reader builder. What does this do? I don't know. From path placements file. Don't really need to open it at this point. You see, that's the thing. What did this want? From path. Path. Bar from placements as path. And then you get a reader. Then we go let the reader is this. What does this .ok do? Does it do what I want it to do? This is it gives you a result. That's sort of what we want, I think. And now we may be able to go CSV reader dot and then something or other. Don't know. Let's have a look. Reader.records. Look. What about a header? Interesting. So we could use Surday to deserialize a CSV file into a Rust object. Which has got implications. So a CSV file, you can't map it into an object unless it's got headers, and the headers in the CSV file need to somehow map to the object that you're trying to extract from the row. If you try and load a CSV file manually, you normally have to know about the headers before you can reference the data that's in it. And if you've got the data in a different order, then you end up with this horrible sort of column mapping thing, which isn't really a problem I want to have to solve myself. I want probably something else to do it for me. I believe Surday has like aliases. Surday aliases. Rust. Yeah. Field attributes. Yeah. This thing. That's it. May be repeated to specify multiple possible names for the same field. That's what we want. So let's go the Surday approach. Let's do the Surday approach. Let's say Surday field alias attributes value. So if you're using Surday, example with Surday, right? So this is what we want to do. We want to define our thing. Let's just let's define it here. Copy that in for a moment. Comment it out. I need to add Surday as a dependency first. Yeah, okay. That was quite magic that this just appeared here. Oh yeah. Right. So then we're going to say, what's our placement got in it? I want to keep the abstraction between the CSV files and all its associated craft away from the actual placement. Let's look at our placements file. And we know we want a ref des. Definitely want a ref des. This seems entirely reasonable. Name and value are the other things that we need. Name for dip trace anyway. Right, so let's just call this dip trace placement record. We're just going to go with dip trace to start with. So, and that's enough for now. Right. So then what we're doing, we are going to call deserialize on the reader. But how does it know that it's associated with the record? Oh, I see. So, oh, I see. It's because it's got deserialize up here. Surday looks for all the things with deserialize attached to them, and therefore the result object can be one of those. Right. Fine. Read it deserialize. For result in right. And let's just, because one of the goals that we said we're going to do is we want to print out loaded 10 placements. We somehow need to make this work. Oops. Right. But we're going to put a placeholder here. Placement out. Should we say placements.len? Seems reasonable. And then let's go let placements is going to be a vector of nothing to start with, but it's going to be muttable. sure we could probably create it using like some other stuff, but we're just going to do it the naive way to start with, just keep things simple. Yes, fine. But placements is not going to be a vector of placement records. It's going to be a vector of placements. But we don't have a placement yet. So now we do. And I don't know what we're going to do with the name and the value when it comes to the actual definition of a placement, because we need to look at the commonality between, say, how KiCad defines a placement, how DipTrace defines a placement, and how other tools also define placements. They're not the same, but they all have a refdes. So we'll just deal with refdes for now. All right. We're definitely making progress here. I think it's going to be break time soon. Lunchtime is coming up. What we're going to need to do is go from a placement record to a placement. And we've got to do that somewhere in here so that we can add it to this. Blackment, placements, that's better. This needs to be mutable, fine. So apparently we should have some of these. So let's just, so that we can do a bit of discovery. And this is going to be 0 when it prints this out, right? But it should still run, right? It should still run. I mean, it won't because we don't have a placements file yet. Oh, it said it can't compile it. Okay, well let's compile it first. I was assuming that was going to work, but it didn't. Can I infer type on type parameter D? Yeah, this is what I thought. You see, like reader from files. Like, why? Okay, so let's go back to the documentation. Let's have a look at that's interesting. Okay, so it's inferred the type. Yes. Okay, I missed this little bit here. Otherwise you'd have to go like something like that. Because it doesn't know what we're trying to deserialize. But it's not a record, it's a DipTrace placement record. Now I don't know what would happen if there was other things. So this is definitely DipTrace-tastic right now. We don't care. Oh. I wasn't expecting that. Temporary value. Right. Okay, fine. I don't know. Oh, oh, oh dear. Okay, there we go. So we need a temporary thing. Okay, there we go. Right, now we can go and try this again, and it should say it can't find a file, which is good. But everything compiled. That's important. So just for testing, we can just point it at our file here. So we can go assets, example 1. And we'll just see what it prints out. Couldn't deserialize it. Missing field refdes. Right. It's not really missing. It's because it's got the wrong case on it, I'm assuming. Because it's got a capital R and a capital D. So we're going to have to make it somehow case insensitive. Yeah. Container attribute. Let's see if there's a case. Apparently it's Pascal case. Interesting. We don't care about the case. This is the thing, right? I don't want to specify a particular case style for deserialization. Um, let's see what other people do. Survey deserialize case insensitive. Case insensitive attribute. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So you can futz around with it. Okay. For now, let's just use Pascal case. Because that's what our file is. And I think it was rename. What was it? Rename all. Deserialize. This is it. Rename all. Deserialize, and then whatever the thing is. This. That. And then we want Pascal case. Okay. Build. Missing field ref. Oh. Why has it got lowercase d? Oh. Oh. It's because of this. It's not like ref. Is it ref des? Should we do that? Or should we call ref des? I mean, it is technically two words, reference designator. Let's just go with it. Let's go with that. Let's go with it. It's fine. I'm fine. Let's just see. Ref des. I mean, we've got ref des over here as well. Okay, fine. We're just gonna do it. If we're gonna be consistent, we'll be consistently right or consistently wrong, but we're gonna be consistent. Normally I prefer to do renames as a separate commit. But there's only a couple of them in this case, so we're probably okay. Okay, so now let's do it again. Look at that. Deserialized some stuff. Oh, CSV parsing. Fantastic. Loaded 0 placements. It's perfect because we haven't done anything yet. We're good. We're good. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're reading a CSV file and we're deserializing it into records and everything. So now what we've got to do. What have we got to do? Well, I suppose it would be nice to make this test pass. So let's carry on with that. So what we've got to do is go from a record. Now, do we want the entire program to die if it encounters one bad line? Or do we want to spit out warnings? Because at the moment, if this fails, it'll fail the entire command. All of this stuff should probably be somewhere else. Red, green, refactor. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. So let's go. Let placement equals placement from record, like this. And this should give us a compiler error to say that from record is not implemented. Something like that. Right, this is what I'm hoping it does. I need to remind myself. Rust from trait. It's sort of from and into. Values to values virtual while consuming the input value. Right. So the idea. General expectation is that the conversions are typically restricted as follows. So in fail. So I guess it could fail. Lossless. No, it's not lossless. Should typically be restricted as follows. Obvious. Okay, so we're going to say fine. We're not going to do that. We're going to say dip trace placement records. We want record.to placement, perhaps. As placement. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. It's perfect. So we can create this and we can go placement and we can say refdes is self.refdes, right? Consume it, maybe. Yeah. Do we want to consume it? I'm not sure. Do we want the functionality in a separate class, in a separate separate thing? I don't know. I don't know. This doesn't seem entirely unreasonable at the moment. No, let's just run with it. So placement is whatever. Apparently, it always works. That does. If there's missing information in the field, it might be that we can't create a placement from it. So we're going to go result placement like this. And then we're going to say OK. In this particular case, we're going to go OK. And if it doesn't work, what I mean, we could give the thing back in an error. Or we could have some custom error thing. I don't know what we're going to do with it. We're just going to always consume it now, and then later on, once we decide how it's going to fail, we can decide what to do. Why is it moaning? What's it moaning about? As placement must have body. Oh, what have I done here? What have I done? Maybe just press compiling. Mismatch closing delimiter. Oh yeah, okay. Mismatch types, exactly. Right, and it's going to fail if it doesn't work. Right, everything's fine. Now, we've got this anyhow error thing. this box error stuff, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Need to look it up. Rust anyhow error handling. Oh yeah, and there's this this error. Yeah. Yes. Anyhow, context and result. Let's change this up. So does this work like this? But this is an anyhow result. Okay, right. Let's see. Stood error. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow works with any error type that is an implementation of stood error. Yeah. All the different ways that it could possibly fail. Mm, 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 mm. Right. One-off error messages can be constructed like this. Okay. Interesting. So instead of doing this, we're going to go match. Yeah, if let okay placement equals record dot as placement, right? Then we do some stuff, which would be placements dot push placement, right? Otherwise, we go bail and then to do. Right. There we go. It's good. Right. So Loaded 8 placements. Happy days. So this is good. Yeah, okay. So, we can load some placements and everything is fine. But our test doesn't have any test placements. I think I'm going to pause here. This seems like a good place to stop. Wow. We've been going a while. Right. And then now that we've got some way of loading up placements and returning the amount of placements that we read, we can add the creation of the placement CSV file into the test as the next step. So let's say placements file name, placements log. To do write test placements to write test placements to test placements to the placements file. Okay, right. We're going to do a quick commit, but I'm not going to push it. I'm going to do a commit so that it marks it as a point in time where it worked in the history, because when you're using the IDE, you can go local history and go show history, and it tells you when the test passed and so on. Right? So, and also when you look at the git commit history, you'll see it correspond to it, so it's kind of useful. Okay, let's review. What did we do? What did we do? We changed refdes. Let's do this as a separate commit. Oh, we've got this, look. Rep des list. I mean, it's fine. Fine. Let's yeah, let's finish with that commit, and then if the tests don't pass, we'll come back to it. All tests go. Everything's fine. There's quite a few warnings and so on at the moment, but I'm not too concerned about them yet, because we're still on the red phase of the red-green refactor. Okay. So now we've got some stuff here. That's not used, apparently. We didn't use that in the end, so we get rid of that. Okay, lock, it's got more things added to it, lots of transient dependencies. Yeah, okay, and then we got some there. It's not too bad, it didn't add too many. Rustics and Ruyu. Don't know what they are. Temp file we added, okay, so that's fine, that's fine. And here we added these, and they're all optional stuff. Everything's fine. Do we have any unversioned files that we're not supposed to be looking at? Yes. Okay. So, what are we doing? Let me just look at my git log. Variant builder. Yeah. Work in progress. Well, we're going to amend this later. But it's going to be, I'm going to prefix it with triple stars to remind me that it's work in progress. What did we do? Did we do here? What did we do? I don't know. Let's cut the command line tool. Okay, we made it load. Read placements. Yeah, read placements. Sure. Everything's fine. Okay. Right. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. And remember, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one.